Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's do a complete beginner's guide for Salt 2, Shores of Gold, shall we? Salt 2 is a game that I've played a bit on the channel and was playing recently on Steam Deck, just relaxing with it. There was an update for Sea Fortresses just about a month ago, and I dipped back in because of that, and just remembered what an excellent game this is. It is an early access title, but it's been that way for a bit, and so there's plenty of content to really get into. It's on sale at the moment on Steam, and I thought, you know what, this is a great time to show this game on the channel and explain how to play it. So what we're going to do in this complete beginner's guide is I'm going to fire up a brand new game, and I'm going to walk you through the beginning portion, explaining the UI, the controls, some tips and tricks so that you can get into and embrace this game. Also, if you've never heard of Salt 2 and you're watching just to see if it's the kind of game you want to play, you'll be able to see how the gameplay arc unfolds, and I'm betting you'll be captivated like I have been. Alright, sound good? Let's go ahead and start a brand new game. So when you click New Game, you get to design your appearance. And I'm going to, just make myself look amazing. Now, this is actually something that was recently added, I'm pretty sure, which is to be able to design the look of your character. And this is a first-person game mostly, but you can see yourself in the menu system to check out your loot. And I guess that's a good point. Before we get too far into the guide, let's just take a second to say, what is Salt 2? Salt 2 is a first-person adventure exploration game where you are on the high seas. You can be a good pirate, a bad pirate, but you're going to be a pirate. And you are doing quests, RPG style, exploring, building, crafting, treasure hunting, fighting other ships and pirates, and generally having a great time. So what I'd like to do is customize my look a bit, and I don't know about that hairstyle. We want to look good. This is actually fine. And then okay, and then what kind of color options do I have for my hair? Well, I guess this will be blonde for us, even though it looks semi-geriatric, but that's fine. And I like how I look, and my name is, it's going to be Incomp Tutorial. And the world seed, we're going to do a random world. Are we? No. I'm going to do default world. So this way, I'm not sure how much of the game is randomized, but if I do default world, some of the layouts should be of the islands, at least the starter stuff should be the same for you, so you can kind of follow in the same direction, I think. And if you wouldn't mind, if you're playing along and you can verify that if you use default world seed that you have the same layout of at least the initial islands, that would be great, so that people can know I want to play on the same map or I want to use a different map. Okay.
It seems the gods have smiled upon you today. A stranger in a strange land. Adrift. Alone. Nevertheless, I'm afraid I must leave now. Good luck.
Well. I woke up from perhaps some semi-unconscious state, and here I am in the world of Salt 2. There was a stranger there who has left us, and now you can see I have full control. Now, I'm going to be playing using mouse and keyboard. The controller does work for this game, and it actually works well. I have also played the game on Steam Deck, and it works pretty well, but you do need to use a lot of mouse commands for the menus and stuff, at least at the moment. So you can see on the upper left of the UI, it's telling me I'm at a campsite. In the upper right, I have my quest journal. In the bottom left, I don't have the full UI unlocked yet. Those bananas represent my satiety, so the more bananas you have filled, the less hungry you are. If you see those bananas drop, that means, well, you need to eat something. I've got some hotbar buttons, 1 through 8, in the bottom center of the screen. And you can see also in the bottom left, there are some keyboard commands that are there. And I'm going to go ahead and just walk around, and they want us to read the journal on the table. So this is indeed a first-person game, and you could see it's got this beautiful cartoony feel to the graphics, and they really grow on you after a while, or at least they did me. I wasn't sure at first, but after playing it and seeing how well the game does this throughout, the art style really makes sense. There's nothing that stands out, and then you get into this environment, and actually with the lighting, it starts to look tremendous in my opinion. So here is a table, and this is a cartographer station. So these workbenches of different types, they have items on them, like the rope, the compass, the scroll, and stuff that you see, but you can't actually take them. They're just decorative pieces that are on the crafting table. But this table over here has items that we can take. So this is not a workbench, this is just a regular table, and the rule in Salt 2 is anything that's not nailed down, you take it. Just pick up and loot every single thing that you can find all day long. So let's read this book. If you're reading this, you didn't die. Hooray! I found you shipwrecked and barely clinging to life. Unfortunately, I have somewhere I need to be. There's a cave north of camp with enough supplies to build a raft and get off this island. If I were you, I'd build the raft and head for the nearest seaport. I'm leaving a map, compass, and sextant on the table here. The map contains coordinates to a seaport. Use the compass and sextant to navigate there. Once you've done so, it might be a good idea to talk to the cartographer. If you're going to survive out there, you need a proper ship and crafting station to place it in. Maybe he can help you upgrade to a better vessel and get you on your way. Good luck, stranger. Maybe we'll meet again. All right. So, by the way, you notice time is passing, the sun is moving, and the book went into shadow, and so I just, walked around until it was in the light, and I'm going to go ahead and just push escape to close the book, and I'm putting it back. You do not need to take this. You actually can't take it. But here's what you want to take. Take the compass. Push F to loot it. Take the sextant. F is the pickup. Navigation. So there are tooltips and tutorial windows that will come up. Maybe later in the game's development it will have a more developed tutorial, but right now it just will pause the game. The game is paused, as you can see. No time is passing. Nothing can hurt you. And have this window come up that will explain some game concept the first time you come across it. And this is the way that the tutorial information is delivered. Use a sextant to find your current coordinates and a compass to determine your direction. Using a sextant is required before you can mark an island on your map. Additionally, you can add waypoints on your map to keep track of locations other than islands. So this is very important. As you're going to see, we have no knowledge of the world around us. So we have just an empty map, and we need to fill in that map by exploring. So we've got a compass and a sextant. We're going to take this sword, and they explain combat. Melee weapons have primary and secondary attacks. Hold the attack button to activate the secondary attack, which is slower but deals more damage and stuns the enemy. You can also block some incoming attacks. This will prevent you from taking damage, but consumes stamina. If you don't have enough, the damage will get through. A perfectly timed block at the last second will parry the enemy, stunning them and opening them up for a critical hit. Note that animals cannot be parried. Pressing the dodge button at the right time will completely negate damage but consumes stamina. Okay, And we got the map to the seaport. This is a map item. Map items will go in your inventory, and you can hover over these to see coordinates to a point of interest. Your quest journal will often show the coordinates of a quest location if you have a relevant map in your inventory or ship storage, as well as Show on Map button that will add a waypoint to your personal map for that location. And you can just take this bottle, and you want bottles for crafting potions. So now that I've got all this stuff, I'm going to push tab to open up our inventory. So inside the inventory, you're going to see that there are, running along the top ribbon, several important buttons and indicators. First of all, in the upper left is our money. We have none. We're in the inventory tab. We'll look at the other tabs in a moment. In the upper right, you could see you could click here to go on your map, and you could see your weight. So I did say loot everything, and you do want to do that, but you also want to make sure that you aren't over encumbered. So look at your weight to keep your encumbrance under this 200, which is where we're at right now. Now, inside the inventory, you have some items, and if you haven't examined them yet, they will have this yellow asterisk, meaning it's a new item for you. So we have the compass, we have the sextant, and we have the cutlass. Now, when you mouse over items, there is a tooltip window that opens up, and if there's important information, it will go in the middle, but there's information on this card for all items. In the upper right, you'll see the weight. This is 2 pounds. It's the heaviest thing we have. In the bottom left, you'll see the amount you could sell it for. In the upper left, you'll see the kind of rarity of the item. One of the coolest things about the game is you can find magical or rare stuff that has enchantments and is just better than normal. But this is the bottom of the line cutlass. And it tells you how much damage it does, because it's a weapon. It does 1 to 6 slashing damage with your primary attack. The secondary attack, the longer, slower attack, does 3 to 12 damage, but it takes 12 stamina. It's a strength and dexterity weapon, meaning it keys off of your strength and dexterity stats, which we'll look at in a moment. It's got a parry window of 7 if you want to, do the nice blocking. It fully blocks, and it takes 0.3 stamina as you're blocking. So what you want to do when you mouse over this as well is look in the bottom left, and the keys will dynamically update to what you can do with whatever you're selecting. So if I push F, I can equip this. You can also, and this is new, you can hold spacebar to salvage this. Actually, I believe you have to hold the button to equip. You have to hold F to equip it. And you can left-click to inspect it if you want to go to this further dive of a screen to get some flavor text about the item. And then if you are on the inspection window by left-clicking it, in the bottom right, you can either salvage or equip it. I'm going to equip it. And I'm going to push escape to get out of this, or I guess tab gets out of it faster. And you see I'm holding this sword. And if I just left-click once, this is my primary attack, or I can hold left-click and I can swing with it. And then when I do that, in the bottom left, you see my stamina bar appear for the first time. It's the green bar. And so as I'm using my heavy attack, you see my stamina drains, and it actually replenishes quite quickly. Above this, eventually my health bar will go in red in the bottom left of the UI. Let's go back to our inventory by pushing tab. And the sextant, I'm actually going to equip this on my hotbar. So I'm going to say, okay, you know what? Let's just put the sextant at number 8. And I just mouse over it, and then you can see in the bottom center of the screen the hotbar slots 1 through 8. The number keys have the yellow glow around them, meaning if you push that number, you will equip it there. I'm going to push 7 for my compass. And I'm actually going to also put my sword at number 1 in case I change what I'm holding and I want to get back to my sword rapidly. Now, I did that, right? I put them on the bottom, but you don't actually need to do that unless you want to use the hotbar instead of coming to the wheel, because you can hold E to open up this weapon wheel, and you can see that it automatically has put on items here. And so I have my cutlass, I have my sextant, and I have my compass. So this is like another way you can get to things rapidly. right now it makes sense to have like my, my compass and my sextant on the hotbar. But as you get more stuff, consumables and tools, you might not want to have them here. And I like to just have them living on my weapon wheel because I use them less frequently. But it's just up to your personal preference. So there's a couple of places you can bind items to get to them quickly. So if I have my sextant out and I left click, it tells me I'm at location 0 east, 0 south. And if I push M to open up the map, I see this giant map with no information on it. And it is a coordinate map. You could see I'm at 0, 0 right here. This circle is outlining like where I am once I've used the sextant. So it's showing me here's where I am. And you could see the coordinates 0 and 0 along the X and Y axis, which are telling me, yes, indeed, this is where I'm at. So with this screen, we'll look at it more as we start to fill it in, but you can see I have 0 islands marked, and my quest is now to find and enter the cave. So if I pull out my compass, the compass, you just hold it in your hand, and there's no other interaction with it, but we want to go to the north to find the cave. So the compass says north is yonder, so we're going to go this way to get to the cave. Now I'm going to go back to my inventory by pushing tab, and then we're just going to look at some of the other screens here before we press on. So I'm going to go to the equipment panel, and this is indeed where I've got a look at myself. This is the gear that I have. I don't really have any clothing. You can see my paper doll on the left. I have the starter, like, pajamas on, but I don't have any gear that is giving me any kind of protection. But this will show you what you have in each of your slots. Then over here is the wheel where you can remap the stuff that goes on your weapon wheel that we showed you that you hold E to open up. So it default just puts new stuff on this wheel, but you can customize it here in the equipment panel. I've got my known recipes tab, which is you start knowing how to craft several things. We'll talk about this in a moment. Here's my stats. This is showing you, my level, weight, health, etc. And you could come here at any time to see your food, which is the bananas, your satiety, how much stamina you have, max current health, max current, what level we are, and then our strength, dexterity, agility, constitution, and attack speed bonus. This is where you could come for your journal to see what quest you're on, and you can track or untrack the quest by using this button in the bottom right, so that if you don't want anything on your screen, you can just untrack all quests and have nothing up there in the upper right. I like to have my current quest up there myself. And then over here is the skills panel. So these are all of your skills, and in Salt 2, these skills are leveled up just like in Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, by doing. So if I want to raise my herbalism, well, I go pick some herbs, or I start working with herbs, or woodworking. Well, you guessed it, I start picking up wood and things like that, and you'll see in a moment. So you can explore these, but we're going to come back to them when they become more important. I just wanted to walk you through them. The final thing I will say about the inventory is you could see there are these sub-tabs here. This sorts your stuff, and right now it doesn't look necessary, but once you get a ton more items, this will become important. And it's also important to note that this tab right here, that it defaults, it doesn't show everything you actually have. So if I come over here to my map, there is the map to the seaport, which says shows an island at 2 east, 3 south. So this is where we're supposed to go once we build the raft. So I'm going to actually click on it by left-clicking to inspect, and then in the bottom right, I'm going to click waypoint, and then this is showing you where we are is the circle, and then the waypoint is the X with the number 1. You can add more waypoints, and if you do, I'm just right-clicking to do this. You see that they are color-coded, and they are also numerical, and then you just can right-click on them again to take them off. But this is where we want to go eventually. And I'm going to push tab to close all this. And I'm going to go back to my sword, and let's see, is there anything else that I want to gather around here? I can rest at the campfire, or I can rest on the bed, but I don't need to at the moment. There's a bottle we can take, and let's go ahead and look around and see if we can loot anything. These sticks right here, you could take F, and my herbalism goes up as I pick up some wood. And I pick this up, and yellow flower. This is raising my herbalism. Okay, fantastic. Sorry, I misspoke. Gathering sticks raises your herbalism, not your woodworking. All right, and I'm just going to kind of go this way. And remember, you can just push 7 to keep us going north. You can check out the beach if you want, but I'm looking for a cave, and, well, I see a fire over here. I'm going to get my sword back out. And we're at the Sandy Grotto. You could see in the upper left, this is a location of interest. It has changed and told us that. And I'm going to take these flowers. Take everything. Again, looting everything not only helps you make money, but looting crafting items in Salt 2 gives you experience, helps you level up your skills, which is phenomenal. This is an ore node. It's a copper vein, but I can't access it because I don't have a pickaxe at the moment. I'm going to pick up these sticks right here. There we go. And this is a crafting station for cooking. If I go here, this is where I could prepare a meal. If I had some meat, I could make some cooked venison. Now, what I like to do is go ahead and just filter with this check mark to see what can I make based on what I can craft. And right here, it's telling me that the only thing I could craft right now is this morning dew. And what is morning dew? Morning dew, if you mouse over it, is well, it actually doesn't tell you what it can do from this panel. So let's craft it and find out. It's going to take a bottle, and it's going to take 2 strong plant fibers to make this morning dew. So I'm going to craft it, and that's all I can make. I can't make any more, and it tells you here how many bottles it takes. 1, and I have 3. And then it tells you it takes 2 plant fibers, and I have 0. So you can see what it takes, what you're missing, and how much experience you'll get from making it. You can also track this if you want to put on the screen the items that you need for crafting something instead of your quest. But I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to go to filter, and now I can make the health potion. So the morning dew is just a ingredient that you use to make a health potion. So the morning dew does nothing by itself. It's a 2-part process, and we can then use this to make ourselves a health potion. So I will make that. And I'm going to go over here to crafting morning dew, and I'm going to, you see how it has this yellow kind of flag on it? That means I'm tracking it. I'm going to untrack it. I don't want that tracked anymore. Okay, great. And there is also that's all we want for now. So remember, these items, they look like you could take them. I want to take them so bad, but they're just decorative, part of the crafting station. Chop. Nothing. Nothing yet. So let's go in the cave and find out what we have. But before I do that, I'm going to push tab. I'm going to go over here, and we need to go into this fork and knife tab for consumables, and I actually want to equip this health potion to, I'm just going to put it on number 6 so that I can use a health potion if I start getting hurt. And let's go into the cave right here. So the quest has been updated, New Beginnings, and we're in this beautiful cave, and the wonderful peaceful music is playing. This game is just such a relaxing time, at least for me. It's got a great progression system. These crates, I'm going to open them, and this is empty, and this one has a banana and a bomb. So hold F to loot everything. It's a fantastic looting system. And we can go over here, and the adventurer's last entry, let's read it. Most of the entries in this journal are illegible, except for one final note scribbled hastily. I found the cave. According to my sources, there's a hidden alcove where Captain Blackburn was trapped with his treasure. Apparently, a breakable boulder of some kind hides it. The note was clear. The dead man points the way. What does that mean, though? Wait, I hear something. Sounds like growling. Ooh. It's got to be really embarrassing to write what you're hearing right before you die. But then again, I guess when you're dead, you don't have to worry about it too much. Okay, so I'm going to take these bananas so I can have some food. And we got a pickaxe. There's also some bullets here and a gun. Terrific. So, this gun, I am going to click on it, and we can say equip, and now I've got a gun, which is fantastic, but I'm also going to put this on number 2. So I could switch between my sword for melee or my gun. Now, the gun, every time you switch to it, you have to put in a bullet, even if it already had a bullet. Every time you come back to it, you got to reload it. So just remember that for your timing. I like to have the gun out first, so I can shoot something, and then I'm able to switch to melee if I need to, or reload if I want to run away and shoot. I like the gun a good bit in this game. And this journal is telling us about a hidden treasure, and this is really the excellence of Salt 2, is just exploring everywhere, looking for those hidden treasures. But we got one more item, which is this pickaxe, and I'm going to put it on number 3. Now the bomb, we could definitely equip this, you know, if we want to throw it. I'll put it at number 5, I guess, for right now. And I can open this barrel, and look at that. There's copper, gunpowder, health potion, and stamina potion. I'm going to take everything. And we're going to take these bottles for further potion crafting. And here's a chest. I'm going to open it. And there's cooking oil, copper ingots, health potion, and linen. Hold F to take it all. Fantastic. You could see once you've looted a chest, it's open, so it's easily identifiable. Oh my god, what is this? It's a bear. So just hit the bear. It's hitting us. I shot it, and then I switched to my sword, and I was just doing quick strikes. It hit us several times, but it really didn't do that much damage to us, which is amazing. This killed the other adventurer, but we are of firmer stuff than that. So I looted the bear and took its meat, which we can cook in a moment. Notice how when I'm looking at this bear, it will tell you, like, it's empty with that cobweb. Whenever you're looking at something that you've already looted, the game will quickly tell you, just as you mouse over it, if you've looted it or not. I love this, so you don't have to worry. And there's some dark recesses back here. I don't have a light source yet. This is the only thing that's illuminating this cave at the moment. But we see there's a copper vein. I'm going to switch to my pickaxe. And you can see that the health bar on top of the copper vein just is showing you how much damage you need to do to it with your pickaxe until you get the ore that's inside. And then once you do, you see I get a bunch of mining experience, leveling up my mining skill, and there's 2 copper ore and 3 flint. I'm just going to hold F to loot it, and now this is empty. There's a chest over there. Let's hope there's no more bears, but look at this. There's a chest hidden back here. I mean everywhere. Search everywhere. There's bullets, morning dew, stamina potion. Oh, there's a green item. I'm just going to loot everything and see what we got. What did we find? What did we find? We found a strong health potion. Okay, great. So now that we're getting more and more stuff, I'm going to go ahead and remap some of my hotbar items. I like to have health potions at number 8 and stamina potions at number 7. Fantastic. I will put the bomb here at number 6. And this looks pretty good for what I've got. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And I'm going to keep exploring this cave. And we find another chest. I'm going to open it. Recipes. Throughout your adventure, you'll discover crafting recipes. Interact with these recipes in your inventory to learn them. You can then craft them by using the appropriate crafting station. You can also see all learned recipes in the known recipes section of the inventory, and you can track any recipe from there or at a crafting station. So we kind of talked about some of this, but look at this. We now learned how to make boots, a hat, and a shirt so we can get some armor for ourselves. Take all of this, hold F, and then immediately open your inventory and go into this. It looks like a scroll. This is the recipe tab, and just click on this, and you can hold F to learn it, or you could just mouse over it and then hold F to learn it from here without inspecting it. And you could see this Wanderer's Hat is something I can make that gives me a random talent, 2 Constitution, +1 armor, and a crit chance increase by 5%. So these are great items to make if I have the materials. And you can look over here. By the way, you can push spacebar to jump in this game if you want to kind of explore and see if there's anything up here, but it doesn't look like there is. I'm just going to keep wandering around this cave. And there's some shrooms. I'll take these. Remember, even if you don't plan on using the mushrooms, just loot them to raise your skills. You can see our herbalism is going up. And here is another crate. There's some money in there. And here is a skeleton. Now, you remember, that we can loot this guy, and he's got a bone and some money, but the journal said the dead man points the way, and this man is indeed pointing over here, and we are supposed to look for a loose boulder. You see how this boulder in front of us has some cracks in it? The game is kind of telling us about how to look for secrets and to read things very carefully when we get notes. And we break this boulder, and then you can just walk through it, and you come into this hidden area, and, well, there's a hat. We'll take that. This guy's got some broken climbing gear, a scroll, some bones. Just take everything. He has a note. It says, laying next to the skeleton, you see a rolled-up piece of parchment. Let's read it. Opening the parchment, you find a small entry, mostly faded. The cavern wall has collapsed and trapped me inside here. To make matters worse, I told none of the crew where I was going. I'm not going to survive long if I don't find a way out. So this is an amazing note. It doesn't quite explain how the dead person knew that somebody was in here, if he told nobody, or if he got trapped in here, why that would be left, but I'm not going to worry about it because I get a treasure chest, so I'm fine with it. And let's go over here. Item talents. Many equipable items, such as armor and weapons, have talents that you can customize. Inspect an item to see its talent tree. Talents on items are randomized when they're dropped or crafted. Looking for a specific roll of talents on an item, you can craft it multiple times to try to find the best combination. So, I'll show you this in a moment, but look at this. We get bullets, health potions, tunic, arrows, just a bunch of great stuff. And I'm going to go in my inventory and show you right here. We got another recipe for the Commander's Ring. So I'm just going to hold F to learn this. And then I'm going to go to equipment. Now this Blackburn Tunic, this is a shirt we can wear. It gives you 2 Constitution and 3 Agility, which is great. But it says unspent talent. So you have to inspect the item to see what talents mean. And talents are basically like brands on an item. So you know how in Diablo or something, if you get a magical item, it has properties on it, and it could be like of dexterity or of fortitude, or it increases your fire damage or whatever. The talents are like that, but you get to choose. So the tier 1 talent choices I have are minor constitution, +1 constitution, or minor armor, +1 armor. Now, I actually want armor, because I don't think that this tunic gives me any armor. So I'm going to take this, and I have now set this, and can you reset the talents for free? I'm not sure. Yeah, I can. Let's see if you can do it after you equip it. I equipped it. Yeah, you can. Okay, well, great. So you can reset the talents to respec your item, and I've got my armor. And then now, if I go out of here, you could see that I now have this tunic. It no longer says talents, but it does have the +1 armor. I'm going to do the same thing with this hat. This hat is already giving me 1 armor. I could take a constitution, or I could take a strength. And I'll take a strength. And I'm going to then equip this hat. Now, if I go to equipment, you can see that I am wearing this hat, and I have this tunic on. Now, this tunic looks identical to what I had before, or pretty close to it. So it's not a huge change, but I do have a hat. And we are getting stronger with some gear, which is phenomenal. A lot of the times you'll see lanterns, by the way, in this game, and they are just permanent light sources for an area, so you can't take them. Okay, so let's look at the rest of this cave and see if there's anything else that's hidden. Even if it's dark, your mouse cursor will tell you if you mouse over anything that you can interact with or loot. And let's not forget this copper vein. Let's just kind of use this. You can also power hit to do more damage if you want here. But it's kind of randomized on a scale. And there we go. We leveled up mining. We got 5 ore, 3 flint, and some rock salt. It's based on the strength of your pick and your mining skill, I believe. And we've already looted everything in here, so let's leave. Alright, so you'll notice it's nighttime, because time is continuously passing in this game. And now they're going to tell us about crafting, which we already kind of did, perhaps too early. Health potions are crucial to surviving combat. You can hotkey health potions by hovering over an item and pressing one of the hotbar buttons. You can also craft health potions at cooking stations. Indeed. So let's go over to the cooking station. Can I make anything? Let's just click craft, and look at this. I could cook the bear. Let's do that. Craft. Our cooking is going up. We leveled it up. I can make some cooking oil, if I'd like. And, okay, I made it. And I can make a health potion. There we go. Herbalism went up when I made that. It's worth going over to our skills really fast and just showing you how much progress we've made just by walking around doing stuff. I got some marksman skill experience by shooting. We're slashing a little bit. Mostly herbalism, some cooking and mining. And if you click on... No, you can't do that right now. I can open up the skill tree for this. So you could see how once you get into the skills, there's actually a skill tree for them, and they come every 5 points. So how amazing is that? All right. Let's get the copper over here. Now what we want to do, as the quest says, is return to camp. We need to build some stuff. And I'm going to take all of this, hold F. Now, by the way, I didn't explain that. I'm doing it instinctively. You can hold shift to sprint. Now, sprinting does consume stamina, but it gets you around nice and quick. And they want us to craft the raft, which is a good idea. However, what I want to do instead is, well, all I can craft is the raft here, I guess. I would need a different crafting station to make better stuff at the moment. So because I can't make anything else, we're just going to make the raft and forget about it. So I'll do that. But first, I want to show you this. And this is just, it blew my mind when I first saw this. You notice I'm looking out, and it's a beautiful starry sky, and there's no land in sight that I can see along the horizon. But it looks like there's some, plants and stuff down in the ocean floor, and I can actually walk into this. I can swim, of course, but I can also just, go down into the water, and I can look around down here, and I can find treasure and items. A blue oxygen bar will appear, but it's incredibly generous. Your character is actually rather amazing at holding their breath, and so you can explore. Now, it's not to say that there's going to be something right here off the main coast, but just to show you that this is a part of the game, and you can look around and see a whole other world underneath the surface of the ocean. So let's go ahead and make our raft. So I can make the raft because all of these items we found in the cave, it takes a lot of stuff, you can see, but we're going to craft it. And I just made a raft. And you're like, okay, great, you made a raft. Where is it? This is one of the best things about Salt 2 is the way that they handle boats. They don't even mess around with it. You know, in a lot of games, boats are quite challenging to manage because they're huge, they're hard to park, or, you know, successfully dock, and they're annoying to get back out into the water and turn around. In this game, it says, place your raft from your inventory and find the cartographer at the coordinates in your quest journal. So, if I hold E, I don't even have to go to my inventory. I can just find my raft right here on my wheel. And when I let go of E, once I've selected what I want by pointing at it, look at this. I just put my raft in the water from my bag. And I can pick this up at any time and put it back into my inventory. Wait. No, that's not correct. What you do instead is, if I don't like where my raft is, I could just hold E and I could put it down again. And it's over there. Or I could put it over here. Or I could put it, you know, over there. Or, I don't know, right here. It's the best way to manage boats that I've ever seen. It doesn't make any sense, but it's so easy and convenient. So you swim over to your raft, and it's dark. We'll be able to get a light source soon. There's a ladder on each side of your raft that you can climb up by pressing F, and it gets you right on top of your raft. So here we are. And this is a really good raft, by the way. It has like a giant mast. It's got a rudder. It's got a wheel. By default, the ship wheel will rotate back to the center when you let go. If you want to stay in place, you could choose to lock the wheel position. Okay? Well, I don't really want to do that right now. What I want to do is open the map and say, here I am, and I need to go 2 east, 3 south. So we want to go southeast. So let me hold E and open up my wheel to use my compass. And southeast is, you know, this way. So I'm going to go this way. So in order to move our boat, what we need to do is come to the mast and go right here, and we need to extend the sail. So you just hold left click. You can raise or lower your sails by interacting with the sails wheel crank on your ship. Sailing with the wind will also give you a speed bonus. The direction of the wind is indicated by the flag at the top of your ship, if it has one. There is no need to worry about beaching your ship. Interact with the ship item in your inventory to redeploy it. Rocking motion can be toggled in game settings if you're prone to motion sickness. And I don't have a problem with it, but you can turn it on or off if you don't want it. I'm going to hold left click and extend my sail. Now, when I do that, my ship's going to start moving, because it's taken the wind. And it's going pretty quickly, as you can see. So this raft is rolling. And you don't need to be behind the wheel to move it. In fact, with this ship, with this raft, you cannot use your compass while you're using your wheel. So you want to kind of just make sure you're pointing in the right direction. And the wheel's just going to stay there. If you need to make adjustments, you can push F while looking at the wheel to grab it and navigate. But right now, I'm going southeast, and if I hold E to get out my sextant, I can use it, and you can see I'm now at 1 east, 0 south, and I push M on my map to open it up. Now I have changed locations, so I am here. Now the island that I was at is actually right here. I could waypoint it if I want to, just to kind of remember where it was, and I can no longer even see it. And here's an island. I'm at 1 east, 1 south. So when I was first playing this game, I'm pretty sure, and by the way, if I want to just stop, I can retract my sail. Just hold right click on this, and I will come to, you know, a pretty reasonable stop. When I was first playing this, I kind of thought that this island right here was the place I was supposed to go. Now, the great thing is, you can get off and explore this island. You could find a bunch of cool stuff here if you want, but for the guide, I'm going to skip this little island and take us right to the mainland. well, the bigger land of where we need to go for the quest. So at this point, we need to go directly south. So I need to kind of make sure that I'm aiming just directly south, which I sort of am. I just need to go around this. So I'm going to hold F to extend, or hold left click to extend this, and I'm going to push F, and I'm going to steer around this island. Now, if you hit the shore and you beat your raft, don't worry. Just select it from your wheel and drop it down in the water again, and you're good to go. And I'm going to kind of go this way and point myself in this direction. And then I can push F to just let go of the wheel and make sure that I'm going south. And south is actually this way. So I'm going to kind of steer myself a little bit more severely in this direction. And push F. And am I going south? This feels great. So then I'm going to open up and get my sextant. And I'm at 2 east, 1 south. I'm just going to keep going. And now we're at 2 east, 2 south. So we just need to keep going south, and we should see the island that we're looking for. Eventually. And this is kind of the process of navigating. Like, you're going to be in places where you can see no land in any direction, and you are tasked with filling in the map and making sure that you're going where you should be going, or at least you know where you are. Now, whenever you use the sextant, it will mark your location on the map, and we need to go a little bit further. There we go. There's an island. I'm going to steer myself and go to this island over here. I can see something. It's dark, too. You could rest at the campfire or the sleeping bag on the original island if you don't want to sail at night. But using the compass and the coordinates that we already have, it's pretty easy to find this. Again, do not worry about where you park. I just drove myself right onto the beach. I push F, and I just leave this baby here, and I don't care where it is. I don't need to remember where it is, because I could just drop my ship from my inventory at any time. Okay, so I am now on this island right here, and I need to find a settlement. So let's see if we can find the cartographer. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get out my sword, because I don't know what to expect. Oh, but there's some copper. Let's get it. Take everything. Yay! And I'm going to start running, because it's dark and it's scary. I'm actually going to get out my gun. And what is that? Is that good? Let's go look. I'm bobbing and weaving through the trees. Now, there is a deer. You can press C to crouch and try to move silently. And you can hold right trigger with the gun to kind of get a better aim. Or right mouse button. I did not hit. I did not hit again. I'm bad. It's dark. It's hard to see it. There we go. So we killed the deer in one shot. How did we do that? If you get a surprise attack on enemies, you notice how the damage number was purple? It was like a crit. You can sneak, even though you have a gun. It's still sneaky enough. Ooh, we got antlers, deer meat, and rawhide. Loot it all. Excelente. And I'm going to shoot that deer as well. I'm raising up my gun skill, my marksman, by doing it. And getting some food for us to eat, as well as some crafting stuff. And here's some herbs. Take all of this. I mean, it's hard to see, but loot it. Loot everything. Where'd that corpse go? Want to buy lantern. Well, when we get to town, here it is. We'll be able to do that. All right. And you see how there's like some light up here? And it looks like the mast of a ship. I'm just going to run us up in this direction. And we've made it to civilization, or some of it, here at Green Palms Bay. Excellent. Okay, so I rushed us here instead of exploring some smaller islands on the way because when you get to Green Palms Bay, there are so many things that open up, quests, opportunities, and you can get easy upgrades for yourself that it's really a priority to get here so that we can make our life easier for exploring and get some quests to do along with our exploring. Okay, so before we do anything else, I want to talk a little bit about the map. I forgot to do this at the starter island. Using your sextant does not automatically mark the island location. For some reason, it was in my brain that would work. It does not. What you have to do when you're on an island is use your sextant, and then I think I'm not sure if you have to use your sextant first, but over here on the right where it says map buttons, you can mark the island by clicking on the island button. Now, I've done that for where we are here. So this location up here, there is no island marked, and I should have marked it before I left. So if you're watching this and then you're going to go play it yourself after watching the video, make sure before you leave you mark the island. You don't have to, though. We know that there was an island right here, and there's islands here and here. So I can sail back here and mark these islands if I want. I right-click them to waypoint them. Now, also what you could do is you can left-click on the grid section, and you can put an indicator, a stamp, so that you can remember that something is here. So I'm going to, like, over here, you can only mark, however, the tile that you're on. So we know that there is, you know, that the town is here, for example. I could put, you know, this stamp here to be like, oh, this is, you know, where the town is, or whatever I want. And then, oh, I don't want that. Here we go. There's lots and lots of different, you know, stamps that you can use. And I'm going to say that's fine. So, that being said, none of these stamps will override the island because they're small. But what you can do is you can see if I right-click to get rid of the waypoint, if I change the color of the stamp away from black because of the island, it's easier to see. I could put this little house here, and I could just remember this is where the town is, for example. So, I can't do that unless I'm on the tile, so I'm going to leave these waypointed like so, and I'm going to escape to close the stamp page, and just push M to close the map itself. Now, I stepped away to get my coffee for a second, so it became daytime while I had the game paused, which is great, because it'll be easier for us to explore the town. So let's go right over here, and this is the herbalist, and you could talk to the herbalist, and I have a Let's Play of Salt 2, which I recommend you watch for the lore. However, a lot of the things in that may have changed since these updates have happened because I played it a while ago. But what here you could do is just talk to them about, you know, what they are and what they're about, and get some general tips about the game. But I'm going to go ahead and just say, let me browse your stock. And you can see here, you can just straight up buy health potions, which is great, but you can also buy fibers to craft Morning Dew, to craft health potions to raise your skills. Now, this stuff is actually quite expensive, though. You see, I only have 17 copper, so even though I can, quote, buy stuff, I don't have enough money to really do it, but you could see that you can buy recipes. So down at the very bottom, if I scroll to the bottom of our list, recipes are something that we certainly want to keep an eye on. You can buy raw ingredients, and you can buy finished products. So definitely keep the herbalist in mind. She also sells logs and for if you want to build something else. And over here, you could see, by the way, she doesn't have a sign outside of her shack, but she does have the herbalist tag above her head, so that helps. But you see here there's a bow, and this is the hunter. And you could talk to the hunter, and you can ask the hunter for hunting tips, and they tell you, you know, be sneaky, and you can do sneak attack damage with a bow, which is fantastic. And you could see their stock. Now, you could buy a better gun, and we can get recipes, and they have some really good stuff here. But I don't have any money, so let's just keep this in the back of our mind that this is where the hunter merchant is. Our job right here, first of all, is to go to the cartographer. There's a general merchant here, though, and she sells this hip lantern, which I really want, but I don't have enough money. Now, I can sell stuff, and I could sell some things to make enough money to buy that hip lantern if I really, really wanted it. And do I have anything that's of any value? Well, I have a chest, but I want to save that. And I have this nomad scroll, which might just be decorative, actually. I could sell my strong health potion if I wanted to. But for now, I'm just going to not do this. I'm going to just try to get my own money. And I'm going to say, boy, I'm going to go to the top and switch back to buy. I really want that lantern that you've got. And then she has some recipes, too, that look awesome. But right over here, if I'm going... I approached from this way, and you probably will, too, if you're coming from the north, from the starter island, and you'll approach the town from this way. But either way, if you move counterclockwise from that point, this is the cartographer. It has the ship wheel on the flag, and you need to go to a separate screen to get in here. And here's the cartographer. Are you looking for a master navigator to take under his wing? Take you under his wing? Yes. Do you see a master navigator anywhere? Don't be ridiculous. You're looking at one. And I will help you become a respectable sailor. Okay, what do I need to do? First, a sailor doesn't sail a dingy old raft. You need a proper ship. And why not go with the good old wave skipper? Wave skipper? The wave skipper is a fantastic ship for young and old sailors alike. Designed last century by a navigator named Bertram, the ship was originally crafted with, I don't need a history lesson. I see. My apologies. At any rate, you'll need lots of materials to craft it. I'd be willing to give you the supplies if you do something for me first. What do they call it? Quid pro quo? Fine. What do you need? Some pesky pirates stole my favorite compass. I want you to hunt down and murder every last pirate until I get my... Excuse me. I would like you to find my compass. I'm sure they have it in one of their chests lying about their camps. Return it to me and I'll give you the supplies for your ship. It's a deal. Here, I'm giving you a map to a pirate island. Try your luck there or at other islands. Remember to look in their storage chests, and I bet you'll find it. Oh, and if you haven't already, be sure to stop by the fast travel tower in town. It looks like a lighthouse. That'll help you get back to me in a jiffy. Good luck. All right, great. So we're going to do that immediately. I'm going to go to my inventory, and I'm going to go to maps, and we have the map to Pirate Island. And I'm going to go ahead and waypoint this, and it's right there. So it's number 3. It's up here. I'm eventually going to sail back to the previous islands that I should have map marked, but foolishly forgot to do, and I'm leaving them waypointed. You can have a lot of waypoints. You can clear your waypoints, you can clear your stamps up at the top of the map, but what I want to do is go here, and immediately... once we leave the cartographer and get back to the town, there is... Here we go. You see right around this giant stone column and this moored ship in the center of the town, there is a little lighthouse here. Come to this, and on the side of it, there's this little, wheel thing, and activate it. Fast travel. Seaports and guild entrances often have a fast travel tower. You can interact with this tower to unlock its location as a fast travel point. With your map open, you can then click on islands with a travel point unlocked and fast travel to them. Keep in mind that fast traveling will cost food depending on the distance traveled. If the distance traveled requires more than 100 food, you need to travel to a closer point first. Okay, so now we have activated the waypoint here, which is fantastic. And what this means is, if I go to this pirate island or back to these other islands to map them, I can then immediately fast travel back here. I can't fast travel to other islands unless they have one of these waypoint fast travel lighthouse guys. So this is the first thing you want to do after the cartographer. And then you can see that there's a mailbox. We don't have any quests that use it, but you see that there's this quest bulletin board. Take all of these. There are two types of quests in the game: commission quests and NPC quests. Commission quests are found on job boards in seaports. You can complete these at any mailbox and find new ones at new seaports. NPC quests can be found all over the world. If you need to return to the NPC, you don't have to return to the same location you originally found them. They will show up in many places in the world. So what this means is, again, I can't state enough that one of the things I love about this game is just the quality of life. You can turn in quests anywhere. They plan on you sailing around and being all over the place. So you can turn in quests at mailboxes, you can get new quest boards at new locations, and you can generally just turn stuff in remotely so that you don't have to just bounce back to that town. So take every quest that's here. This sailor needs pirate plans, and they will give us a treasury chest and some money. So I'm just going to take all of these. This hunter wants us to, and you can read this to get the flavor, but the objective is clear. They want 3 bear hearts, so we got to go kill 3 bears. They want 3 red crabs from a fisherman, so we need to catch these, okay? And they want 7 pieces of leather, okay? So we need to get some leather. So now we've taken all of these. If I go here into my quests, I can see all of these quests that I just picked up, and they have a nice little icon that tell you kind of what type of quest it is, and you can track them, but they will always be here for you. I'm going to keep my main quest tracked. Before we leave, though, there are many other vendors that we want to talk to and see if anybody else has any quests for us or if there's anything else important in the town, and we will get into that next time. Everyone, this is going to be a guide series because there is a lot to explain in Salt 2 as we get our sea legs under us, but for now, I hope that you have found this first episode to be useful. If you have any questions about the game, please post those in the comments below. I'd love to help you out. And if you're a Salt 2 veteran and you want to clarify any mistakes that I've made or leave any tips for new players, that would be awesome. Just make sure you do so in a way that's not spoilery or too in-depth and in the weeds so that it doesn't overwhelm any new players who are looking to enjoy this game. Everyone, I will check you in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.